This will be a quick start guide for texturing in Blender. The first step to texture painting is making sure that your model has a UV map. To check if your model has been UV unwrapped, you have to be in edit mode. Then if you select everything, you should see the UV map here. Explain what UV maps are and how to unwrap them is beyond the scope of this video. The default cube comes unwrapped by default, so you can directly paint on it. But if you want to learn how unwrapping works, I will link a tutorial by CG Boost below that you can watch, which is really detailed. Now head to texture paint. If you try to paint now, the warning should appear. This is because we have not created an image to paint on, for which we will go to textures logs. I have to click on this plus and choose base color. I will multiply this by 2 to turn it into 2K. You can press Ctrl and C to copy that while hovering about this, and then press Ctrl and V to paste it. Alpha is for transparency since this is the base color and I don't want any of the part to be transparent. I will uncheck it. 32-bit setting is used for normal maps and displacement maps, so we will leave that unchecked. This color is the default color for your base color. If you are painting on a wood material, turn this to brown so that if you miss a spot, it won't look that bad and it will blend in. But since we're just coloring this cube, you can choose whatever color you want. You can start painting. You can change the color by turning this on and choosing your color. By default, this will be black, so even if you change your color, it won't affect anything. So turn this up and then change it to blue color or whatever. You can use this to change the size of your brush. You can see now it's bigger. This will be the strength or opacity. Now I'm painting the same color, but it's much lighter. The shortcut key for radius is F. When you go right and left, you can change the size. When you go up and down, you can change it slightly or more accurately. But if you want to make big changes, go right and left. And then press Shift plus F. Then to change the strength or opacity, keep this in 1 if you want to retain the same color. I'll show you the basic brushes. By default, we are using Paint Card. And there is the mask brush. I will explain this later. If you use fill, you can fill the entire selected portion with the same color. Choose the color and click on it. That's it. You don't have to paint. The erase hard brush can be used to erase certain portions. Sometimes this brush is set by erase alpha by default, which means it will erase everything completely. We don't want that. I will undo this by pressing Ctrl Z and choose set it back to mix. But if you want to erase alpha anytime, you can choose this. To show the usage of blur brush, I need to paint something first. I'll paint this. That blue line looks like a line drawn, not like a paint. So if I use the blur brush and then move it up and down, it will blur the edges so that it will blend in more easily. Ideally, you would only want to blend the corners, but I blended the entire thing. Now if you scroll down, you should see more brushes. Here you should see a smear brush. You can select it from here as well. This works like smudger on Photoshop. See, I'm using the smear brush to mix it, show you about masking. One way to mask off an area while painting is going to Edit tab and then choosing the faces you want to paint or choosing the areas if you have complex object. Just choose the areas you want to paint and then leave the other areas unselected. Tab back into texture paint. If you accidentally press something and head it somewhere else, you can always press Ctrl plus Tab and then choose texture paint. Now by select any paint hard and then choose black, you can see that it didn't change anything. That is because I didn't turn on the mask. You can select paint mask above here. If you don't select it, that mask won't work. So if you click this, only the selected regions can be painted. If you paint here, it won't paint. But if I turn this on and then paint, it will work. So the thing with masking is you have to turn it on above there. First, I chose face selection and then selected some faces. And then I turned on the face mask. You have too many vertices or a complex mesh. This method will prove ineffective. In that case, you can use this mask brush to mask out the areas. But if you select the mask brush and click, again you will see error. Because mask brush needs an image to save itself. To create that image, you need to go here and then click on stencil image and click new. Name this mask and press new image. Now if we paint, you can see it's painting. Here the mask is painted with 0.5. I will turn this up and paint here. You have to remember this is different from the color I am adding up there because this is painted on the mask image, not on this image. You see nothing will be changing here. This will just be used to mask up areas don't want to paint. After painting the region you don't want to paint, click on paint hard again. Then we'll choose white color. For the mask created by this mask brush, you won't need to turn this on. That is only for face selection. It will also prompt same exactly the same. Now you can see I can paint here but not on the masked areas. Since this was painted with the strength of set to 0.5, I can partially paint inside it, but I will have to paint multiple times to get the same color. After finishing, you can click on close to disable the mask. You want to use the same mask again, it will be available up here. You can select it, disable it again. You can have multiple masks for the same object. But remember, these masks will not be saved after you close the application. Having multiple objects in the same scene, you may enter the texture paint tab for a different object and try to paint here. You can see always which object is selected for texture painting. There is an icon over here that will help you avoid that confusion. Also, while painting on corners, you will notice that sometimes you won't be paint and the object is almost close to 90-degree like this. You can see I can paint here and I don't have any mask turned on, but I can't paint there. This is happening because of the fall off angle. You can click here, set that to 90. Now it will paint everywhere. Remember this tip, this will be very useful. Also, you can press Alt plus E to bring up the stroke method. You can choose line and then draw a line to draw a clean line. But since the fall off angle was set to 90, even a little bit of this brush crossing to the other side, painted that side as well. So I'll turn it back to 80 again. Now if I draw the line, it will stay here. Import textures from internet and then use them to paint on your model. You can click on here and select blue. Click this if it doesn't show up here. Now click open and you can select something and just select this random image. Use that image as your painting. Then you can use that image as a base color. Click Alt plus C again and then choose anchored. It lets you scale up your brush like this. This will give you some nice results. You can explore all these as per your wish. This tab is available here. Whichever texture you are using to paint will be available here. You can always close it or open new images here. And then your color and other options will be available in the tool. You can even change the color of the image you imported. That image I imported was black and grayish color. But if I set it to blue, you can see it uses the same texture to paint in blue color. Under tools, texture, if you click on random, this will randomize your texture so that the tiling won't be seen. The most used one is the stencil. You can right click and shift to resize the stencil and then right click and control to rotate it and right click to move it and then you can just paint wherever the stencil is placed in front of it. This will be a quick way to slap the entire texture into your object. Forgot to mention a few things. I will mention them quickly here. So you have to save the image you paint on, otherwise it will be lost when you close it. So the image we painted on is here, and then click on image, save as, and then save it as whatever you want. If you are using painting tablet or something of similar that has a touch screen, you can click on this to toggle on and off your pen sensitivity. Turning this on will make If you turn this on, how strong you press the brush on your tablet will control how big your radius is. And then if you turn this on, how strong you press on your tablet will decide how much strength or opacity of that color has. Sometimes you will want to paint the same color on both sides of the face, like the right and left, for which you can always press the tilde key and choose right. I believe it was 3 on the number pad, or you can press the number pad, then click on these options in the tools, upload and backface color. So if I paint here, you can see it affects both the sides, this side and this side. This can be useful sometimes. Don't forget to turn them on after you do this, otherwise it will be a nightmare and it will paint in unwanted places. I think that covers everything. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing if you like this video.